Welcome to the today's episode where we have the privilege of speaking with Mr. Dikshant Sharma, an alumni of DDDST College, Chandigarh, a highly accomplished DDR field expert for substance abuse prevention under the Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, India's flagship campaign against drug abuse, with an extensive background in sociology, government certified expertise in drug abuse prevention, and a track record of impactful initiatives like Yuva Sankalp. Mr. Sharma has reached thousands through awareness programs, research, and advocacy. His work spans national and international collaborations, published research in prestigious journals, and keynote addresses at top institutions. Honored with multiple awards, including the Rashtraprerna Doot Award, he is a leading voice in substance abuse prevention and social reintegration. Join us as we dive into his inspiring journey and the crucial works being done to combat addiction and support recovery.
We welcome you all to the Communicators Archive podcast by PG Department of Journalism and Mass Communication. I am your host for today, Gaganpreet Walia, Assistant Professor in PG Department of English. We've all had an extensive introduction for Dikshant Sharma. Dikshant Sharma, our SD alumni, who is an inspiration to the youth. We welcome you, Dikshant, to the show. Hi, Dikshant. It's a pleasure to have you with us again in SD College, and we all know you're the SD College alumni. So I would start this podcast with, how has your journey been through a student to where you are right now? Please tell us about your journey through the college, with the college, and now with the ministry.
Thank you so much, ma'am, first of all, for inviting me on this platform. I really thank ST College Management, Principal Sir, and the people who are behind this podcast. And it's my privilege today I'm here. Talking about my journey, obviously it was a journey where I had hurdles, and there were a lot of times where I had to work rigorously for my work. But the main point, I'll just frame, is that the thing which inspired me was the reason for which I started working in the field which I am working today, that is substance abuse prevention, the Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India. Started as a volunteer in the WADA club of the college, Victory Against Drug Abuse, got the training for a master volunteer with the officials, and then got appointed as a MV for district Chandigarh, and then went for a specialized training under the ministry, NIST, National Institute of Social Defense. So I have always observed that nothing is easy. It's just that how you take the things. And always I had that aspect in mind that I have to work for the reason I'm working, and with that I have to do something for the society in which I can contribute from my core heart. So this inspired me, and yeah, the journey is continuing, and on a stage where
You are doing a very good job, your journey, and I wish you you have the best of journey ahead as well. So tell me something, I'm very curious to know that these days youths, the students that we have in college specifically, they are there in Instagram, they don't have their own Snapchat, etc., and they don't have a vision. How did you find your vision? How were you so focused on what you need to do?
always, ma'am, when I talk about vision, it's very clear cut formula for my life. I very deeply follow our great youth and spiritual leader, Swami Vivekananda ji. He rightly said that any person who wants to succeed, he should have three major principles in his or her life. And the formula is ADD: aim, duty, and devotion.
Very well put. Very well put.
So that is I follow. I have always just worked on my aim, and for that aim I believe that duties are utmost important. And without duties, your life is meaningless. But that duty should also be performed with devotion. So if that formula is fitting your life, and you are And if you're following that formula, I'm very sure that no one can stop you in achieving your goal.
Very good. Very, very good. So, what were the significant challenges that you really faced while starting working in the initial days, initial years?
The challenges in this field are many, but the foremost challenge is that how you are going to approach any person who is into the menace of drug abuse. And the problem comes rapport building. Um, Always I say wherever I go that counseling is the first and foremost weapon to make any person come out from drug abuse. So we have to be very much proactive in the counseling approach, and that's why when I was in SD college, I took 3 years advanced diploma in guidance and counseling. This add-on course really helped me in building my counseling and rapport building skills. So obviously counseling is something which should be very structured, rigorous, and it really needs very good speaking skills also. So there we challenged a lot of times, but my expertise in this field really helped me. Data collection, managing like reporting, or I would say evaluation, or I would say monitoring, these are some hurdles. But I feel that whenever you start with any new work, any novel idea requires brainstorming, and with experience you gather that kind of expertise. And then today as an expert I'm working here, so now it feels like it's my area of command.
Okay. So, like you said, you have had an add on course which really helped you, the guidance in counseling. So, a lot of people don't have it. And substance abuse is something that, people don't come out in the open. For example, alcohol, people are having it in the open. It's something that it's not banned, right?
Right.
But substance abuse is something that people are not having in open.
Right.
They are not very open about it. They're not very talkative about it. And especially there's a generation gap, right? So if somebody, the family, the friends, or some caregiver wants to help and he does not have a specialized counseling, how can they help?
Very valid question, ma'am. And to answer this, I will start with that as a layman, if we are not like any expert in this field, just that we have to remember Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India, we have our national toll-free helpline on de-addiction, and it is 14446. If we call on this number, we will just get full support from the ministry professionals who are sitting on this helpline. They will guide you how to proceed further, where you can go and approach the de-addiction center. With that, we have our website also, Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, Government of India website. There you can find each and every resource which can help you in moving forward if you want to help anyone. We have IEC material, we have geo-tagged de-addiction centers which are working all over India, like ODIC, CPLI, ATFs, and DDACs. So they all are ministry recognized centers, and they can be a great help. Just that we have to either call or visit on the website and just locate for it, and other things will parallelly work.
Perfect. Now, my next question to you is: do you really think these awareness programs and seminars that we organize, they do they really help in in the substance abuse, less use of substance, or awareness?
Very, very true, ma'am. It always actually it helps.
Okay.
Why I say this, because I am associated with training, capacity building, and conducting numerous amount of workshops. Till date, in last 4 to 5 years, I have conducted, I don't even have the number, but I think it's more than 150.
Okay.
So what I have observed is, wherever I go, I always take feedback from that session, and post 4 to 5 months after also, I just take the feedback, what actually is the status of the students or that community where I delivered any sort of capacity building session. If any child who is not aware about the repercussion or the consequences of drug abuse, by the I would say capacity building program, that specific community of students get aware.
Okay.
Today's youth is like this. When they come to any good city, they are attracted towards bars, clubs, and somehow there it's a lot of substances they consume unknowingly. So
True.
we teach every student it's not bad to go to such places, but it's very important that you should know whatever you are consuming, any substance, it's good for your health or not. Are you aware what's in your drink? Because many times such cases come where some sort of substances are mixed in anyone's drink, food,
Hmm.
and they're consuming it. So, self awareness, self reliance, and most important, what is good for you and what is bad for you is important, and that comes from awareness only.
Very well said. I mean, I really like this point that you brought up, that going to clubs and its discs and parties, go out and party, but be responsible,
Exactly.
be aware, and
Right.
party with awareness is very much required for the youth today. What role do you think does media have to play in the rise or fall of substance abuse?
This is again a very thought provoking question. And in fact, I have a very nice research paper written on this issue, pop culture and the influence of media. Uh, what we observe is that today media portrays substance abuse being very cool, or and especially the web series.
Yeah.
And somehow it is impacting today's youth in a very adverse way. As they think it is very cool, but I want to tell to your friends who are watching, especially youth, that you are becoming fool. It's a complete illusion. And somehow media has both merits and demerits. But if you are following media or net, I would say blindly, then you are moving on a very wrong path. You should know that everything which is displayed on social media is not true. It has loopholes, it is somehow not very much correct, and you should know that if you are following such sources without knowing the facts, then you are somehow putting a big question mark on your health. You are affecting your health. So media should actually act as a tool of awareness, because the reach is very high in today's the time of Instagram, or I would say reel scrolling, or it's LinkedIn or Facebook, or even WhatsApp broadcasting also.
True.
So right approach should be followed, and we ourselves utilize these platforms for maximum awareness. But youth should know that what is again right and wrong for them, and what they are watching on these sources, and what actually they are following out of that.
So, what do you think are certain misconceptions that exist about drugs and substance abuse that you've come across?
The biggest myth, I would say, there are a lot of myths which I keep busting out. But the biggest myth I have always just taken into consideration is that if any kind of youth is in stress today, we have a lot of mental health issues,
Yes.
anxiety, depression, and directly without any physician or any medical professional like psychiatrist or doctors, prescription, they directly jump on any kind of antidepressant pill, any kind of unknown substance. They just go to any chemist and they take it. So it is also a drug which you are consuming without any proper permission of
Right.
any medical professional. So and somehow they think that it is right, we are not consuming drugs, it is a medicine. But it's a very big myth, I'll say. It's a drugs, because any substance which you are consuming without doctor's prescription, it is disastrous for your health. Secondly, some youth say that if I'll take one pill of any substance, I'll not name it, but any n number of substance which is not medically recognized, I will be studious in my studies, I will top the exams, and somehow I can be muscular. Today's youth
Yeah.
fantasize them like this, and they think drugs is the helping hand in this. Very, very big myth. Drugs is equally proportionate to death. It is a very brutal reality, but some cases you can just read on the newspapers. Even after a single dose, if it's in a very excessive amount, it can lead towards death. So drugs never give you any kind of help to top your exams. It is not going to give you any kind of high in which you will be muscular one day, you will just get those abs. So these kind of myths students have, and they are totally wrong if they are following it.
Yeah, because the youth this they believe in shortcut.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
So steroids and shortcut. I have a
Exactly.
6-pack abs.
Right.
So okay. But do you think awareness is only required for the youth? Or it is also required for the middle-aged people? Probably they don't know what kind of substances. For them, it's alcohol and smoking. I've come across certain people of middle age or 50s and in the 50s and 60s. They're not aware of what all substances are there in the market and what are students taking these days, the youth is taking these days. So should awareness only be for the youth, and or should it also be for the middle age? Because how will you check your children if you don't know?
Right. See, awareness is for everyone. Though we focus on youth today is why, because the maximum strata or the age group who is going into any substance is the age group between 18 to 25 or 28.
Yeah.
After a certain age, when a person opts their career, naturally they become mature in their approach. I'll not neglect the fact that mid-career professionals are not into drugs, but kind of, I would say, awareness is always required. Uh, the most important thing which comes here is that if any person who is in their profession, and despite of knowing the fact that it is disastrous for my health if they are consuming such kind of psychotropic substance, it is just that they should realize, first of all, it's not just affecting you, it is affecting whole strata of society. As a sociologist, I want to say drugs is not a personal problem, it's a social problem.
True.
It affects your parents, it affects your friends, teachers, and everyone. So, as a mature person, as a person who is working, he or she should realize that what I am doing, what I am contributing to my society, and most important, what impression I am giving to the youth. Because obviously, any youth who is watching a senior or any mid career professional taking drugs, a very negative notion is always portrayed. So, yes, awareness is always required for every person whosoever is in this menace of drug abuse.
Yeah, so for all age groups, whether
Right.
you're taking it or not, but at least you
Exactly.
should be aware of what is
Aware.
happening in society.
Right.
So you've collaborated with PGI, UNDP. How have these collaborations helped you in shaping your instances about substance abuse?
I have seen that every organization follows the zero tolerance policy for drug abuse, because again, possession, consumption, supply is always considered a heinous crime for drug abuse, and we have a very strong act for this, that is NDPS Act 1985. So always whenever I have worked in the capacity of an intern or project coordinator or as an expert, I have always realized that every organization first teaches you how to be a very good professional in your job role, how to maintain that ethical consideration. Then comes your work. And I think it is the true formula for any organization. First, we have to be a good human, and then only our work reflects. We should be true to our work, that commitment should lie in our work. So, these organizations, whether it's UNDP, it's Ministry of External Affairs, or it's my own ministry where I am, just working under Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, which is Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Always I have realized that these, ministries or the officials under whom I have worked, they always say that, Dikshant, just think like a person who is sitting on the chair, who has that responsibility, that power, or a certain kind of authority.
Right.
And when you will take that charge, you will think about n number of things. That is the consequences, the impact assessment. So when we think about this, naturally, it teaches you a lot of, lessons So yeah, I'll say this.
Of course, your job is a lot of stressful. There's a lot of negativity that you see around, and you have to come up with strategies to cope that negativity. But how does Dikshant keep himself mentally sane?
I'll just say that it's not always not a negative thing, because we never deal directly with the drug dependents,
Right.
because it's the work of medical professionals, though, like PGI or AIMS, because they are the correct people who are, are for treatment. And obviously with the drug peddlers also we don't interact, because it's the work of NCB, Narcotics Control Bureau. We, as I would say, capacity building professionals, we train the people, if they come in this situation, how to act.
Okay.
We prepare them, whether it's any teacher, any professor, any student, or any person of any organization, right? Especially the people who are in functionaries of childcare institutions, people who are working under Mission Vatsalya. I always go as a resource person in these institutions. So I work on capacity building. So I'll not say it is a very stressful job, rather I enjoy it. I prepare them. And I also say that always I enjoy my work, and it keeps me motivated, and it thrives me to work more harder for this mission, to make Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan a successful campaign, and the vision 2020-47 of Viksit Bharat a very successful, and I would say a great point where it reaches to the pinnacle of success.
Okay. How do you think educational institutions and community organizations can actually contribute more effectively to reduce the usage of substance abuse?
Their role is utmost important, and it is one of the major objective of this abhiyan, because as we know, in especially in the colleges of Chandigarh, in all the higher education institutions, we have WADA clubs, Victory Against Drug Abuse. And recently, a 10-member hostel committee is formed by every club. So these clubs work for the, just to work on the cause of drug abuse prevention. They are working for capacity building, workshops. Most important, they aware their students, the community, and maximum clubs have adopted certain kind of villages, rural areas, where they are tirelessly working for the community. So when we say that what's their major role, the role is that they are the leaders of today. I always say, as a youth, we are the leaders of today, not tomorrow. Because if today we come in the leadership in whatever capacity we are, we can bring a lot of changes. If any student gives a small counseling to any junior, that can be really a big thing. If any student, distributes IEC material on substance abuse in any community, that can be really a change maker for that community. Or certain kind of recreational activities through these clubs. We have poster making, declamations, and many more. So they can be very much therapy based exercises, which can really be very beneficial for students also, and contribute in the success of this abhiyan.
Yeah, we even have a WADA club in our college, which is doing really,
Right.
really great. So, any message that you'd like to share with the youth? Your thoughts?
Just I'll wind up, or lowering my raised voice, I'll quote George Bernard Shaw. He rightly said, progress is impossible without change. Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. It's we, if we want to see the change in the society, first change yourself. Then slowly, gradually, you will see change in your family, and then comes society, and slowly and gradually, you will see the regulated behavior, and we can move towards progress. So change is not a one-day progress. It takes time, but first work on yourself, and when you'll work on yourself, definitely you will see wonders in the society.
Great. So, okay, a quick rapid fire, right? A few books, maybe one or two, which you would recommend to all.
If I just gave a recent read, it was No More Excuses by Silverstein. Very good if you are a procrastinator. And if you want to excel in public speaking, as it is one of my hobby, so it, I always go for it is The Art of Public Speaking by Thich Nhat Hanh, and Dale Carnegie also have written excellent books like How to Influence friends through public speaking. So yeah,
Okay, so one thing that you'd like to change about the society perceives about addiction.
I want to just say that addiction is a very crippling social issue. We have to really work harder for this, and every person should come forward for this issue, and whatever they can do from their end, especially in the sector of awareness and counseling, they should contribute.
Okay, if Dikshant was not a youth activist and a researcher, what would Dikshant be?
Although that's a tough question, but then Dikshant would be a good journalist.
Oh, I like that. Okay, a memorable experience that you of your college time.
The most memorable, although there are a lot,
I am sure.
SD is like a home. So most memorable experience is this, that when I presented myself in the Parliament House, New Delhi, I was selected as a youth speaker after clearing the block level, district level, and state level, and speaking at Parliament was especially the most, I would say, memorable moment when teachers and everyone guided me. And actually, I just made this platform from SD only. So one of the best experience in my college life.
Okay, so last question. What is Dikshant's vision for Nashamukh Bharat Abhiyan 2047?
So my vision for 2047 is drug-free India, where we don't work on these kind of workshops and capacity building because this issue has been completely eradicated. Rather, every youth is now self-empowered and is going to lead a very healthy, happy, and a very successful life.
So, okay, your last thoughts. Thank you for giving us the time. Your last thoughts before leaving SD. So, your last thoughts about how was your experience today?
It was fantastic, fabulous, and I would say outstanding. Coming back to your college, your home, it feels always a privilege. And just I'll give a very short message for the SDNs that, dear friends, today you have got this privilege to study at a very premier institution which stands in the ranking of NIRF, which holds a very good grade of NAAC. Utilize your exposure, do anything, whatever you want to do in a good way to the fullest, take full exposure, participate, do outdoor activities, and make yourself a very well student when you just go out from this college and you just say that yaar kuch to karke nikle hain, and that self satisfaction is going to be, I would say, really heartwarming for you.
So, thank you, Dikshant. Now, as Dikshant says, that enjoy every bit of it. Enjoy with responsibility, of course. Thank you, Dikshant, for giving us your time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.